Today I'll be talking about diet selection and surprising results we found for larval tiger salamanders in western central Illinois. Tiger salamanders are the largest member of the genus Ambystoma, and which are commonly known as mole salamanders. They reach lengths of almost 14 inches. As far as salamanders go, they're generalists in just about every sense, with their only requirement really being a source of water that will last long enough for them to support their larvae. This allows them to thrive in a wide variety of habitats. This adaptability also makes them the most widely distributed salamander species in North America, living in most of the US and much of Canada and Mexico. As for Illinois, they range throughout the state. The map on the right shows their documented range in Illinois. Throughout their wide range, they thrive in many different kinds of habitats, including the deserts of Arizona, the longleaf pine forests of Georgia, and what is now the Great Corn Desert of Illinois. All of these ponds are tiger salamander breeding ponds. To cope with varying habitat types, tiger salamanders have developed a variable life cycle. They mostly follow the normal amphibian model, egg to larva to terrestrial adult. However, especially in permanent ponds in arid western states, they can become sexually mature while still remaining aquatic. With varying habitat types also come many different prey types. The larvae are often described as generalists and can eat just about everything that lives in an ephemeral pond, including microscopic zooplankton, aquatic insects of all sizes, and freshwater mollusks. For this study, 98 larvae were captured from 10 ponds in Mason and Tazewell counties along the Illinois River. Minnow traps were set in the ponds for the larvae. Also, dip nets were used to capture invertebrates to see what food was available in the ponds. The animals were euthanized and preserved and then examined in the lab. The stomachs of the larvae were removed and emptied. Invertebrates from the sweeps and the stomach contents of the larvae were identified to family using a microscope. Between the sweeps and the stomach contents, 30 families of invertebrates were detected in these ponds. In the stomachs, there were 19 families of invertebrates, as well as frog tadpoles. There were also 3 stomachs that contained the remains of other larval tiger salamanders. Cannibalism in larval tiger salamanders is fairly common in western populations living in ponds with a high density of larvae. The larvae can sense increased density, and this triggers rapid growth into a distinctive cannibal morph in some of the larvae. The ponds with cannibalistic larvae mark the most eastern occurrence of cannibal larval tiger salamanders. It is also the second documented occurrence in the eastern subspecies of tiger salamander and the first one east of the Mississippi River. A characteristic of cannibal morph larvae is the teeth morphology. The following picture will show the roof of the mouth of a cannibal morph, next to that of a normal morph of comparable size. In the cannibal morph, you can see the much larger curved teeth used to grab a hold of its fellow larvae. Along with the change in teeth morphology, there's a striking difference in size between the two morphs. The picture shows larvae of the same age class caught from one pond. The length and head width of the cannibal pictured on the left was twice that of the normal morphs. Macroinvertebrates, however, made up the bulk of the larvae's diet, and there were some differences in predation between seemingly similar prey items. The graph shows the percentage of stomachs that contained each prey item. On the left are more hard-bodied aggressive insects compared to the softer non-biting insects on the right. A possible explanation for this disparity between predation rates in these two groups is the varying thickness of their exoskeletons. The hard-bodied insects, with their thicker exoskeletons, are going to take longer to digest and will contain little nutritional value when compared to more soft-bodied prey. These are all photos of stomach contents under a microscope. The adult beetle is pictured on the left, surrounded by other digested invertebrates, and remains fully intact. On the right, you can see the difference in digestibility of carixids and notonectids. Another factor affecting the difference in predation rates is the aggressiveness of the prey items. Belostomatids are known to eat small larval tiger salamanders. Also, notonectids have beaks capable of giving an extremely painful bite, while carixids aren't capable of biting. Another group are microinvertebrates. Hard-bodied ostracods were eaten much less often than the lightly armored zooplankton on the right, who are detected in the stomachs of almost every larvae. Ostracods are known as seed shrimp because of their tough shell and seed-like appearance. This makes them hard to digest and a potentially irritating item. Daphne and copepods, on the other hand, are soft-bodied and make up a large percentage of the diet of larval tiger salamanders. A final example of the selectivity of larval tiger salamanders is the different predation rates of these two seemingly identical dipteran larvae. While larval tiger salamanders are often thought of as generalists, it would appear that they can be rather picky with regards to their diet. Thank you.